Okay, so we're going to compare Apple Pencil 1 with Apple Pencil 2. Now, in terms of which is best, it's clearly an unfair comparison because this is the first generation, this is the second generation, and Apple have gone a very long way to improve it. Having said that, it's been 3 years since this one came out into late 2015, and we're now late 2018, so there's 3 years between the two. So it's been a fair amount of time for Apple to really iron out any issues that we had with the initial Apple Pencil. So as you can see, just in terms of a physical comparison, the new one is shorter and it feels better in the hand. It is a more natural pencil length. I've always felt that the first generation Apple Pencil was just a little bit too long. It felt slightly ungainly in the hand. The weighting was somehow a little bit off. But now they've fixed that. They've got it to a much more comfortable and natural feel length, much lower like a real pencil. One of the other gripes that I had with the Apple Pencil, and most people have had, is the cap that you lose, the lightning port plug that you have to stick into the iPad itself. Clearly, that was a strange design solution, really ungainly, really awkward looking, and potentially a good way of breaking both your iPad and your Apple Pencil. Compare that with the latest Apple Pencil. It just magnetically attaches to the top of the iPad like that instantly. Much better. So it charges, it pairs, it stores it. This is the solution we would have ideally had right from the get-go. However, things take time to evolve, and I guess we should just be grateful that they have actually managed to figure it out and come up with a solution. Other benefits between the first generation and the second generation Apple Pencil is that we have a flat surface on the new Apple Pencil. So it's rounded the majority of the way around, but then on one edge we have a flat surface. Now that's really good, adds an extra level of being able to grip it, feels more natural. If you've used pencils a lot, then often pencils will have exactly that kind of form, and it really does help convince you that you're using a traditional tool. Added to that, we've got a more of a matte finish compared to the gloss finish of the original, and it just feels a lot nicer in the hand. In terms of the way that they actually operate on the iPad, there's no difference. They have the same latency, the same accuracy, the same speed. Nothing has changed in terms of the actual usability on the iPad itself. Between the iPad Pro 3 and the iPad Pro 2, the screen refresh rate is at 120, so there's no change there. So it's not going to be more responsive, it's going to be exactly the same to use, but it has other benefits as we've discussed. One of the other major benefits of the new Apple Pencil is that you can double tap it for functions. So within an app like Procreate, we can draw, double tap, we instantly go to the eraser. Double tap again, we're drawing. Double tap, we're erasing. Feels really natural. Initially, I thought you were going to have to tap on the flat edge, and I thought that might be quite awkward, but it turns out if you tap it anywhere within that area of the Apple Pencil, then that's fine. It does not have to be on the flat edge, so grip it however you want. It's always going to be the perfect place for you to double tap it there. Now obviously within Procreate, this is the default setting, is to use the tool and then use the eraser, but within the settings you have all sorts of extra functions, and you can change the preference and the gesture controls, and you can set it so that your double tap on the Apple Pencil does different things. If your iPad has gone to sleep and you tap it, you will instantly go into notes, and that's a really cool feature as well. So then you can instantly start writing or drawing or whatever it is, note-taking, whatever it is you wish to do. Another thing to bear in mind is the fact that it permanently attaches, or attaches rather, at the top of the iPad. It means that you don't have to make a special conscious effort to charge the thing. So it's so unnatural to be sticking your Apple Pencil into the end of your iPad before, that it meant that charging it became an issue. It had to be something you had to bear in mind. Whereas on this, because this is probably where you're going to be storing, where you're not using, you'll never have to really consider whether it's charged or not, because I think the majority of the time it's going to be charged. Now, in terms of some of the negatives, they are not compatible with each other's iPad. So the Apple Pencil 2, you cannot pair it, you cannot charge it on the older iPads. The older Apple Pencil, you cannot pair it, you cannot charge it with the new iPad. So unfortunately that means if you want to use this Apple Pencil, you do need a new iPad. And if you want to make any use of your old Apple Pencils, you need to hang on to your old iPad. So if you're wanting the new Apple Pencil, it's best to sell your old Apple Pencil and your old iPad, and then hopefully it will go part way towards funding the new Apple Pencil, which is not cheap either. I think it's about $120-ish, £120 in that sort of region, and that's sometimes changeable. It depends on where you are in the world and how the currency translates, but it's more expensive. So in the UK, this was £79 when I first got it, the Apple Pencil 1, and this one was $119. Clearly, there's benefits. The technology has got better. There's more functions involved in it, but still, it is more expensive. It seems these days that you're paying, whenever they have an upgrade in technology, things advance, then there comes a hike in price, which seems a little unfair. It used to be that the technology remained the same price and just got better year on year. But gone are those days. It seems that if we want better technology, we have to pay for it every year these days. Frustrating, but in all honesty, if you have the money and painting and drawing is really important to you on the iPad, then honestly, I think the differences are pretty big in terms of the feel and usability of it. Bear in mind, it won't make you a better artist. It's not going to fundamentally change the way it interacts with the iPad in terms of the painting and drawing. It's all the added functions around it, the added benefits, really, that has changed. Also bear in mind, if you've used a grip on your old Apple Pencil, which I have for the last 3 years, then that is not going to be compatible. It's not going to be something you're going to want to use on the new Apple Pencil, because as soon as you do that, you cannot use the double tap function because it totally then consumes the area in which you would be double tapping. So you either like the feel of it as it is or don't buy it. Having said that, I really don't think I'm going to miss having to use a grip. I think it feels better in terms of the texture. It's lighter, somehow feeling in the hand. I don't know whether it is lighter, but it feels, I guess because of the slightly shorter length, it feels better balanced. Just feels really good. But don't fret. If you've not had an iPad, an Apple Pencil very long, and the finances are not available to upgrade at this point, you're not missing out on a huge amount. It is definitely a better Apple Pencil and a better iPad, but your artwork won't suffer. Okay, I'm going to be doing a video soon where I'm testing out the new Apple Pencil on the iPad and just seeing how I get along using it to do some actual artwork. So please make sure to subscribe, check out my other painting tutorials. I do all sorts of tutorials from landscapes to textures, natural elements, you name it. So subscribe, I'll catch you back here again. See you later.